Guys, today I will be sharing how to make Matcha Mongo Bread. For the first dough, we're gonna need 1 cup of bread flour, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 2/3 cup of warm water, and 1 packet of yeast, which is 7 to 8 grams or 2 and 1/4 teaspoon. To begin, we're gonna combine the warm water and the sugar. Make sure that the water is not hot, it must be lukewarm. Then add the yeast. Give it a quick mix, and then we will leave this for about 5 minutes until the yeast is bubbling, just like this. Now we're gonna combine the yeast mixture into the flour. And then give it a mix. And then we're gonna cover this with cling wrap and put it into a warm spot to rise for about 1 hour. This is 3 cups plus 2 tablespoons of bread flour. You might not need all of this, so we need to check the consistency. This is the yeast that we brew for an hour. We need 1 egg, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. This is the matcha tea that I'm using. As you can see, it's not like really green. That's 1 tablespoon, half a cup of sugar. This is 60 grams of butter that we will melt, and 2/3 cup of milk. So to begin, we're just gonna combine the bread flour, the salt, and the matcha tea. With the matcha tea, you can add more if you want the matcha to be more intense, but for me 1 tablespoon is enough. Next step is to combine all the ingredients. I've melted the butter as well, so that's the milk, the egg, the butter, and this is the yeast that we brew for an hour. Having this yeast paste makes the bread soft even after 2 days. Then I added the sugar. So we're just gonna lightly mix this. Now we're gonna add the flour in batches. Don't dump the flour all at once because sometimes you're gonna need more flour and sometimes you're gonna need less. So I added half of the flour first. Once all the flour is absorbed by the liquid ingredients, we're gonna add more. Again, don't add all at once. I'm gonna add a little bit more. And at this point, I know that I got the right consistency of the dough. So I didn't end up using all my flour. That's my leftover. Is for the dough not to be sticking on the mixing bowl. So I need this for about 8 minutes. And after 8 minutes, this is what the dough looks like. Now I've got a bowl with a little bit of oil on it, and I'm forming the dough into a ball. I'm gonna place it into the bowl with oil on it. Then cover this with cling wrap and let it rest for about 1 hour or until it doubles in size. For the filling, I'm using red bean paste. If you wanna know how to make this, I'll put the link in the description box below. It's very easy to make. I made a separate video on how to do this. So I'm scooping about a tablespoon of the red bean paste. So the dough has doubled in size. We're gonna divide this now. So I'm dividing the dough about 35 grams each. And then now, just flatten the dough. And in the center of that, we're going to put the red bean paste. And then cover the entire paste with the dough. It's just like making dumplings. And then just cup your hands into the dough and rub it against the work surface. So this is what they look like. Now we're gonna slightly flatten the dough. Then I've got a fork. I'm just gonna prick some holes. This is optional. And then we will leave this to rest for about 45 minutes. After 45 minutes, we're gonna bake this in a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius for about 12 to 15 minutes or until the top is golden brown. You don't need to egg wash the top. And this is what it looks like after baking. Let it cool down before doing the next step. So there's two ways to do this. The first one is to sprinkle a little bit of the matcha tea on the top of the Mongo bread. But I honestly don't like doing this. So instead of matcha tea, I'm gonna use powdered sugar. If you're using powdered sugar, make sure that the bread has completely cooled down or else it's just gonna melt the powdered sugar. And this is the finished product. This is so good with a light hint of matcha tea. If you want it to be more intense, you can add up to 1.5 tablespoons or 2 tablespoons of matcha tea. It's up to you. And just to show you what it looks like inside when you cut the bread in half. This is very light and delicious. It stays soft for a number of days. And I hope you give this a try. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next week. Bye!